do we need to know, Mark, about these two new tech rules from Europe? Once they're implemented, is it a revenue headwind for these companies?
I hope not, and I don't think it will be. But there's a series of things these companies are going to have to watch out for, and particularly Facebook, Google, and Apple. These regulations seem squarely focused on them in terms of forcing the app stores to allow alternate payments and allow what's called side loading, or allowing other apps to be sold in their app stores, in terms of no longer allowing the companies to do self-preferencing, making sure that all the users are required to give their consent for different activities on their platform. So it looks like a lot of things that it depends on how it's interpreted by the courts or by the actual executive branches. I guess the European Union in this case. I could see how it's going to make names like Facebook, Google, Apple, and maybe even Amazon very careful about their business practices. I don't think it leads to a dramatic change, but we'll see. My guess is that it's not going to materially impact these companies' P&Ls.
Is there anything in here that you think could be a template for U.S. regulators, which are way behind when it comes to any sort of regulations, from privacy, which Europe already did, to this kind of gatekeeper, or what they call gatekeeper protections for people?
Yeah. So, Sarah, the one thing that jumped out to me was the self-preferencing element of it. So I think Senators Klobuchar and Grassley have legislation that would also stop self-preferencing. In other words, the example would be Amazon creating its private label products and preferencing those in the Amazon marketplace versus third-party sellers. I'm not actually sure that happens, but that would be the kind of activity that the Klobuchar-Grassley bill is attempting to stop. And then that also is pretty broadly written, at least as I've currently seen it, how that's implemented by the FTC, how it's implemented by a regulatory agency in Europe. I mean, in the hands of certain regulators, you could trip up a lot of activities. In the hands of others, you wouldn't.